Hi my gorgeous Sagittarians, how are you? This is Jill and welcome to Tarot by the Sea. Oh my goodness, what's going on? Sorry, hopefully the sound is fine. Hi, how are you? I'm really sorry about this. Ouch. Bear with me. I'm sorry about the last videos. If you couldn't watch it, I really am sorry. We had sound issues. Hopefully they're sorted out now. Please let me know if they're not. I am in so much pain. I obviously slept really badly last night, in a really funny position last night, and my entire back is just killing me, absolutely killing me. So I'm going to do your readings. I hope it doesn't interfere too much. I have just done Capricorns and it's a little bit kind of slower than usual. It is just distracting and it's quite hard to shuffle the cards. So it might be a shorter reading. So I apologise. But yeah, it is very painful. Okay, I've taken painkillers but nothing. It doesn't seem to be touching it in the slightest. I'm not sure whether that was one way up or the other. Do you have the Chariot? Do you have the Four of Wands? This is your reading, sorry, from the 29th. Oh, it's that way up, okay. I love how they do that. That card came out and I was like, I don't know if it's the right, which way up it is, and the cards come back out in the right space after I shuffled it. They're being very kind to me today because I think they know that I need a little bit of love. Yeah, 29th of January to the 4th of February. Remember, we have the new moon on the 31st, so if you do your moon work, make sure you get that done on the 31st. Let's see. Oh my goodness gracious me. Ouch. I am so sorry, guys. It's unbelievably painful. I'm just going to see if I can move. Oh. I never wear trainers and I'm sitting here in tracky bottoms and trainers because I just can't get dressed properly. I just can't bear it. Okay. You're getting a lot of cards coming out now though. Yeah, quite determined that they were coming out. Right, on the bottom of the deck you have the Wheel of Fortune. So things are, time is moving on, things are changing. It's kind of like you're on your path. Whatever's happening, you're just kind of on your path. You have the Six of Spring. Release. Three of Summer. Six of Autumn. The Hermit. And the Eight of Winter. Okay, you have the Queen of Winter on the bottom of your deck. I'm just trying to think if Capricorn just had that. Actually, they had something on the bottom of the deck. Sorry, I'm putting the blanket on because I'm cold now too. I'm very sorry for myself. It's rubbish, isn't it? Queen of Winter, strong, patient, self-sufficient and funny. Let go of people or things that no longer serve you. It's time to focus on your career. Unmarried or divorced individuals. Okay, that's it. They had the Nine of Pentacles. So there could be some correlation between the two of you. They had the Nine of Pentacles, who is strong, self-sufficient, and usually an unmarried or divorced individual. Okay, right. Let me get myself into a position where I'm actually not dying, and then we'll have a look at your cards. I feel like a real old lady today. So you have the Chariot. You'll have to excuse that I can't lean forward too much with the cards. I think you know the cards generally. So you have the Chariot. Now the Chariot card can kind of mean two things. It's like The Chariot card's supposed to be about moving forward, but what always puzzles me with the Chariot card is that she has no kind of reins to guide this thing. And those sphinxes look like they're made of rock or something, and it's just like they're not going anywhere. Because for all the Chariot card's supposed to be about moving forward, there's no movement here. You know, and she's quite distracted. She seems to be distracted by something else. And she's kind of looking off to the side instead of like looking forward. So I wonder whether perhaps there has been something distracting you and stopping you from moving forward. And then you have the Six of Spring. I'm so sorry. There we go. Six of Spring. Wonderful news on its way. Smart choices that bring rewards. Success and public recognition. Perhaps this is what you could have. Perhaps this is what you want. You know. But she's on a horse and she's moving forward. And you have the Wheel of Fortune, which is basically saying that the wheel is moving. And the sense is that, like, the wheel is moving. But maybe you need to get rid of these sphinxes and replace them with these unicorn things in order to move forward. You know? What did we just have for you? Let go of people or things that no longer serve you. That does make sense, doesn't it? Because these creatures here are not serving her, okay? They're meant to be pulling her chariot, and they're not pulling her chariot. They're just kind of sitting there. And she's distracted by something else as well. So I think maybe you need to get on your unicorn. You need to start moving to kind of go forward now. Or maybe you're coming into a space where you're feeling quite stuck because... No, you're not. I'm just looking at the numbers. And the Chariot is the 7. And you had the 6 of Spring. So I wonder whether for some of you, you were moving forward. And you've kind of come to a bit of a standstill. Because you've been distracted by something. In which case I think you're being told by this Queen of Winter that you actually need to start moving again. It sounds really bizarre, but maybe you were on your horse and moving forward. Yeah. You were nice and rich suddenly, so you went and bought yourself a chariot. But the chariot is not helping you because the sphinxes aren't moving forward, so you're getting rid of them and you're moving again. Okay? Because they're just in your bleeding way, quite honestly. And then you need to take the reins and you need to move forward. So maybe you were doing quite well, something's come along and it's distracted you, and it's time for you to get rid of it and basically move on from it. And carry on. And it could be that someone came into your life. Okay? It could be that someone came into your life. There is this sense of a foundation here, but it's not the 10 of Cups, it's just the sense of a foundation. And perhaps someone's come into your life and they've kind of distracted you a little bit. This could be you, and these could be the two people that have distracted you. This could be you, and this could be the person that's distracted you. Okay. If you've got Capricorn in your chart, it could be that your career was going well, and then you had children, and you've kind of put your children you've kind of put your career on the back burner. And I'm certainly not saying get rid of your children, but maybe for some of you, you're kind of like toying with the idea of going back to work at this point. And you have the Release card, and that kind of ties in as well, doesn't it, with getting rid of things that no longer serve you. Let go of people or things that no longer serve you, because it says let go of the past, and ending that makes way for new opportunities and time to move on. You need to be moving, because I think you've stagnated a little bit. I think you got into this 4 energy, and I was talking to Virgo about this 4 energy, and the 4 energy seems to be a bit of a sticky place. Because we have the 4 of Pentacles, which is basically holding on to something. And we have this as well, where it's like, well, you've got a nice ish foundation, you know, it's quite pretty and it's quite stable and things, but it's not a proper house. It doesn't have the roof on, it doesn't have the walls on, it doesn't have any of those things, but it's quite a nice place to be. And there is that sense of kind of force to me, feeling quite sticky at the moment. You know, they're a foundation, but they're not the foundation, they're not the 10, they're kind of not even halfway. But it's just that sticking point where it's like you're quite comfortable here, and you could sit here and kind of stagnate a little bit, or you can kind of move on to it. And the release card is also the 13 card. Add those two numbers together and you get 4 as well. But I think you're being asked to let go of this this energy that isn't like a full foundation. It's kind of like it's like a stopping point. Okay, you can move on from it still, because you need to get to the 10 to be moving forward. And it's, sorry. You have the 2 of Swords. Okay, so it's like, it's kind of, for some of you, I think you're about to find out you're pregnant. Possibly. Possibly you are. We don't have the Empress card. For some of you, you might be, just because you have news worth celebrating, announcements such as weddings, graduations, or births, friends you cherish. That's 3 of Summer. Okay. And then you have the 2 of Swords, and you can't decide. This is the card that I didn't know whether it had come out in the reverse or in the upright. And it's like, for some of you, information's coming out, and maybe you're finding out that you're pregnant. And for some of you, yeah, because you've got the Moon. Powerful, intuitive epiphanies, letting go of fear and worry, understanding the truth of a situation. It's like, to start with, this lady didn't understand what was going on, okay? She was blindfolded. There were these 2 swords here, there were 2 bits of information, but they hadn't come together. Now they've come together, and things have been revealed, okay? It's like when that information comes together, you get the full moon, which isn't the sun, but the sun is kind of illuminated. And the sun is kind of like the happiness card, and you see everything. But the full moon here, it illuminates quite a lot, but it still leaves some shadows. Okay, and it says letting go of fear of worry, understanding the truth of a situation. So this is kind of like clarifying this, in that this person didn't know, and now they do. And that's why it was in the upright, because they couldn't make a decision. And that's why I was confused about whether it was upright or not. They couldn't make a decision, but now they're coming out of that state. I'm so sorry. I know the energy is really low on this, and I do apologise for it. I'm just trying to get them out. So this is actually a really hard one to read as well, because it's like that little bunch of cards there kind of doesn't really seem to flow in from the other one. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do another one of these, because I feel that I need to. There's something missing. There's and maybe this is what it is like maybe you haven't got this piece of information. And what is it that Capricorns need to know? I'm going to do one of these, I'm going to do one of the other ones, and see if between the 2 of them they kind of answer something. A Chariot moving forward this time. That's really interesting, actually. Sorry, I just want to show you something in a minute. I just want to get another card out. I don't actually think you need another card. They're kind of not giving me one. Okay. Right, for some of you this is a relationship, okay, because we have the Two of Winter, which again is that Two of Swords. Maybe this is why there was more information, okay. This is the Two of Swords. And it says, indecision is holding you back. Make the choice that's best for you rather than trying to please others. Feeling trapped by the intellectual and the emotional. And the next thing that you had was this. And that's the feeling trapped by ideas. That's the feeling trapped by the intellectual. And that's the feeling trapped by the emotional. You don't want an argument. You don't want an argument. You just don't. And it's like you don't want to get into that state. You don't want to get into the state where you're basically trapped in your head. And this is why you're doing this rather than moving forward. In the past your chariot wasn't moving, but now your chariot, look, in the past your chariot wasn't moving. And now your chariot is moving. You need to get this chariot moving. This is what the universe is saying to you. Success that comes from dedication and self-discipline, celebrating your accomplishments and being in the spotlight. Now, did you have this, or did Capricorn have? Yeah, Six of Spring. Okay, this card is tying back to that first three, because both the chariot and this one are in that first little pile. Okay. And that one says, wonderful news on its way, smart choices that bring reward, success and public recognition. And then the chariot says, success that comes from dedication and self-discipline, celebrating your accomplishments and being in the spotlight. Success and public recognition and being in the spotlight, okay? You need to move forward with this. You do, genuinely. And this indecision is holding you back. Make the choice that's best for you rather than trying to please others, feeling trapped between the intellectual and the emotional. This thing here, I think, is called a liar, and I wonder whether this person is looking. This could be you, looking at this thing and going, yeah, but is it for real? You know, is it for real? Because you just don't know at this point. And then you have this, and it's just like, okay, you know, you're trapped between the intellectual and the emotional. You don't want to be feeling angry. And maybe you're having this battle in your own head about what's going on, and this is the indecision that's holding you back, is because you don't know what to do. You don't know what to do, and it could be about a love, it could be about a relationship, it could be about the lovers, okay, it could also be about Gemini. And you have options, you know, you have options, perhaps in love. Oops, sorry, I'll turn that goes round. You have options perhaps in love. All those options are good though. I'm very aware this is a very disjointed reading. And half my cards, some of my cards are backwards and some of them are the right way around, and I wonder whether that is the thing. It's like there are some things that are hidden from you and there are some things that you're aware of, and that comes back to the moon. It's like there are some things that are hidden from you, there are some things that you're aware of, and it's like, is this person lying? And because of that, you're in the Hanged Man stage and you can't move forward. But you need to move forward. You can't stay in this kind of four energy, this sticky four energy forever. Okay, Virgo had a very similar reading. In fact, a lot of people are having this reading this time round. And you have the Six of Autumn. Okay, you have the Six of Autumn, which is the Six of Pentacles. And it says the good you do comes back to you, an unexpected inflow of money, borrowing wisely or repaying a debt. The sense that I'm getting with that is that yes, it could be a karmic debt. It could be that what you've just gone through is basically, have you got a massive number of major arcanas? You've got the Chariot, you've got release, you've got the Moon. You have the Chariot again. You haven't got a massive number of major arcanas, in fairness. I think a lot of this is down to your decision making, but I wonder whether you've had a lot of major arcanas in the past, in your other readings, and maybe you've been brought to the point by the universe of like, this is where you're supposed to be, now you need to make a decision as to what you're going to do about it. So you can clarify the Six of Autumn, please. The Five of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles to the Five of Pentacles. I wonder whether you're not actually, you know, you're stuck in your head because you don't want to have this argument, because you're worried that it's going to lead to some kind of being left out in the cold situation, or it's going to lead to kind of like financial poverty or something. And I think you're being told not to worry, because the good that you do comes back to you, an unexpected inflow of money, borrowing wisely, or repaying a debt. So I think you're being told not to worry. Your fear is that you're basically going to end up in the Five of Pentacles if you get into this conversation, have this conversation, or whatever this is that you need to do, whatever movement forward you need to take. And I wonder whether you think if you move into this next stage that it's going to cause problems, but you're being told not to worry about it. Okay. You have Temperance. This is about patience and balance, okay? But it's also in relationships. It's quite interesting there. Where are we? In relationships, it's also about, if you can see, this lady has a cup in her hand, yeah, which is, cups are like emotion. She has passion. Water is emotions as well, okay? So, and it's going into this other cup. So but the passion's not going into the other cup, just the water is going into the other cup. Perhaps you may be in a relationship as well where there's just no passion there at all, you know. It could be with a Virgo, because you have the Hermit. It could be with a Virgo. It could just be that you're feeling quite isolated, or you're isolating yourself, one of the two. Maybe you're feeling quite alone in this. Maybe you're in a relationship which is kind of, or a job or anything else, it's kind of emotionally fulfilling for you in a way, but there's no passion for it. You know, maybe you've been there a long time, there's just no passion for it anymore. And you can't see how that's going to happen. You have the Page of Wands, and bless the little Page of Wands. I love this little guy. Look at his little face. He's so cute. He is so cute. And he's just like looking at his wand with such love. He really is. And but it's not kind of like sleazy love. It's like, it's just adoration. And if you're with someone who's younger than you, yeah, it's like he's looking at this wand and kind of facing her. Sorry, it's so hard to do. He's kind of facing her. She's looking at him with this cup of love and passion. But she's got her eyes closed. And it's like neither of them are really looking at each other. You know, he's focused on his wand, which is something that he feels passionate about. She's got passion and love to give in her little cup. But he's so focused on his wand he can't see it, and she can't see that. So maybe you're offering like this passion and love to somebody, maybe a Virgo. Maybe you're offering this passion and love to someone, but they're kind of already passionate about something else. And it doesn't have to be another person. The feeling that I'm getting from it is like work or career or something like that. They're already focused on something that they're passionate about. And it's something that's kind of, they're less passionate about it than maybe the passion that you're offering them. Or maybe there's someone doing it to you, you know, it always works that way around. But it's more kind of stable and grounded and in the real world. You know, it's a wand, it's not fire. The fire could easily go out, the wand is just there. It could get broken, but there's less chance of it than the fire getting blown out, or especially when the fire's in with the water, you know. Especially when the fire's in with the water, you know, the water could put the fire out, if that makes sense. There's all this water flapping about everywhere. and that fire could easily be blown out or put out, and he has his wand, which is more solid and stable, and maybe that's what he's focused on. Maybe that's what he's focused on. Then we have the devil, who is all hot and fiery. I have such a crush on that devil card. It's so wrong. So wrong. And it's like deciding what path to take. You know, again, the devil can be about passion. It can be about lust. It can be about all those things. It can also be about addictions and codependencies and all those things too. And it can also be about being tied to someone. But I think in this deck, this is just basically about lust and fire and passion and all those things. Okay. And it doesn't need to be that, but it doesn't need to be a relationship, but it's that burning energy for something. It's not kind of like old passion for something, you know. It's not like a job that you're still passionate about 20 years later, or you've been a train spotter or a stamp collector for the last 25 years and you still love it as much as you did it. This is a new passion, you know, and you're kind of working out where to go with it. And I think you're being asked to follow the signs, because if you look at the top of there, okay, above one of them, there is like birds, okay. So maybe you're being asked to kind of follow the signs, because it's like the birds are all going that way, so it's like, well, maybe you should go that way too, because they're obviously... I was watching Horrible Histories last night. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but they were talking about Vikings and ravens and stuff. It's really funny that this should come up. And they were saying that the Vikings, when they used to go on ships, used to take a raven with them. And basically what would happen is, if they didn't know where they were, they would let this raven go, and it would be they would keep it hungry. And they would let the raven go, and the raven would fly towards land. It would go up as high as it could and see if it could see land, and then it would fly towards the land. And I wonder whether this is what it's saying to you. There is a mountain there. It's not going to be easy to do this, and it could be that you're being led towards an earth sign as well. Okay, I don't think it's going to be easy particularly to do this, but I think you're being kind of guided towards it nonetheless. Because then you have the Eight of Winter, and the Eight of Winter says you have what it takes if only you believe in yourself, thinking you're powerless when you're not, a lack of self-confidence that keeps you from getting what you want. I think you're being pushed to it. I think perhaps you think that that is a mountain to climb. But the birds are telling you it's the right direction to go in. So maybe it will be a mountain to climb, maybe it won't. But I think you've just got to follow your... not even follow your heart, follow your passion, whatever that might be. This isn't about emotions. This is about passion. And you have the Two of Autumn, which is the Two of Pentacles, funnily enough, when you read it. The Two of Autumn. Bring fun into everything you do, juggling multiple priorities or jobs and exceptional talent for multitasking. It's like, normally you wouldn't think of Pentacles energy as being like the fun energy, but that's kind of what it's saying. It's kind of what it's saying. And for some of you, you might decide that whatever this is... No, I don't think that's right, actually. You may be juggling more than one thing. Perhaps if there is something that you want to move towards, perhaps you've got to keep the two things going for a little while. Maybe because this guy's not quite finished walking towards the point where he has to make a choice. He's still kind of walking, and he's looking at both. So maybe for some of you, you need to kind of hold on to both things for a little while until you know more. Until you know more, and until you're ready to, until you get to the point where you get to that crossroads and you need to make a decision. So maybe you're going to be juggling for a little while, which is a bit dodgy in a relationship. In a job, maybe not so much, because maybe you can do one part-time, one part-time. In a relationship, it's looking a little bit dodgy, unless it's quite casual relationships you're looking at. That's it. That's what I've got for you. So I hope you have a fantastic week, and I will speak to you very soon. Okay, take care. Bye bye.